Yo, 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 it's time for a brand new hockey happy hour. Guess what? One team's in the Stanley Cup final. I think you know who it is by now. We got Eastern Conference Finals going on tonight. Got a lot to talk about and not a lot of time to do it. So hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that share button, get your friends in on it. Let's start talking some hockey. Time to go. Let's do this.
Let's go! This ain't the fuck like or this game he stink!
Oh shit!
It's gone!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour and only on A2D Radio, powered by Manscaped. Manscaped is partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society to bring awareness to testicular cancer, men's health, early cancer detection. Manscaped is committed to raising awareness for the most common form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35 and giving support for fighters, survivors, and families impacted by testicular cancer as a part of their We Save Balls initiative. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. He's Brian Daly. You can find him on Twitter at BryGuy_85. What's going on, Brian?
What's up, Robbie?
Chilling, man. Chilling. You can find me on Twitter at Rob_Povia. Get right to it, man. Big show tonight. We have one team decided for the Stanley Cup Finals in the Colorado Avalanche after their decimation of the Edmonton Oilers. We'll review their series sweep and talk about how to keep this momentum going as they sit and wait for the winner of the Eastern Conference Final. Game 4, speaking of which, is going down right now. Tampa Bay up 1-0. First intermission. The winner, Brian, is going to have all the momentum in their corner. Absolutely. But we want to know, the New York Rangers, are they the hungriest team in the NHL playoffs? Agree or disagree? We want to hear you in the comment section. We want to see if they're not, who do you feel has been the hungriest team in the playoffs? But of course, I got to go to my main man, Brian. Are they the hungriest team?
I think they are. I really do. The way they came out in the Eastern Conference Finals and just kind of, I don't want to say dominated, but kind of manhandled Tampa Bay early on. I think they want it. I think they're feeling it. You know, Igor Shesterkin has been just absolutely phenomenal throughout this entire playoff so far. Defense has been, you know, no less than great, and the offense, is they're grooving, and they're grooving in all aspects of the game. You know, the transition game, which is where they are just absolutely brilliant. You know, creating odd man rushes, creating offense, getting guys in front of the net. You know, and then you have guys on the defensive side that can absolutely add to the offensive firepower as well. And obviously, we know Adam Fox, you know, reigning Norris Trophy winner, is probably going to be a 2-time Norris Trophy winner back to back with this season that he's having. You know, he's been a huge asset to this team as well. So I absolutely think they're the hungriest team. And I think after squeaking out of round 1 and getting past Carolina, both in 7 games, I think they're feeling it. I definitely think they're feeling it.
I mean, it looks as so. I mean, certainly the way they just Shanghai Tampa Bay in game 1, just absolutely surprising the nation, surprising the Tampa Bay Lightning, you know, to the tune of 6-2. Certainly, that had to have been the first time Bazzi has given up 6 goals in a playoff game.
Absolutely. And you knew, well, I think we expected a better game, which you got out of Vasilevsky. You got a better game out of him in game 2. But I think the Rangers did something that not many other teams have done in the last couple of years, and that's beat Vasilevsky after a loss. And especially after a big loss like the one he had. So, I mean, that's huge. for the Rangers, and that's a lot of momentum on your side. But obviously, Tampa Bay came back and answered in Game 3, and Tampa Bay needs to answer. They need to take Game 4 here tonight. They want to withstand a chance of climbing back into the series, which is far from over. But with the way the Rangers have been playing, if the Rangers can get a 3-1 lead, this Rangers team could be the first team in 2 years to eliminate the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, that's obviously no easy task, especially a team that's hungering to be the first team to win 3 in a row since the early 1980s Islanders, who won 4 in a row. Maroon himself would be at 4 in a row. Would he not? Didn't he win with St. Louis before coming to Tampa Bay?
Yes, he did. This would be 4 in a row for Mr. Vasilevsky. Or Mr. Vasilevsky. For Mr. Maroon.
I hate guys like that, man. Those lucky. Yeah, there's so many great athletes out there that have never sniffed a championship. And then there's guys that are just like, I got multiple rings, Tom Brady, so on and so forth, multiple championships. I'm all jelly, that's real talk.
I mean, does it make you even more mad knowing that he was drafted by the Flyers?
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I gotta throw
that was fuel behind the fire.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm a little mad. He was a Duck for a while, and then he leaves and starts winning championships. Like,
right?
Jeez, what? I mean, Flyers more than the Ducks, obviously. When are we gonna get some more love? I need another Stanley Cup. I can't sit here and be okay with the fact that the Ducks have 1 and the Kings have 2. I'm not okay with that. We need to get 2.
Absolutely.
We need to get 3.
Absolutely. Read a couple comments from the fam here. We got Rosca chiming in and go, "What's up, boys? David Pastrnak wants to be traded. Colorado Avalanche will win this year. 3rd Stanley Cup champion." And just a little friendly reminder, our first comment sponsor is Gleason's Bar. It's located at 6700 Mill Creek Avenue in Levittown, Pennsylvania. If you use promo code A2D, you get 10% off your order whenever you dine in, take out, or order online at gleasonsbarandsteaks.com.
We'll leave that up for a minute since I had a little delay on it. I'm still trying to find everything on this side.
And it doesn't help that I read the live reads like the Micro Machine Man.
No,
that got a better flair.
That gives me time. That helps. That actually gives me time to find it.
Absolutely. By the way, Maddie, missing in action tonight, but with us in spirit. I should have said that at the beginning of the show. Doing some good deeds for his moms right now. So we support that. We got your back. We're good teammates here at the Hockey Happy Hour.
We good
Pete Evans
here
going to agree to the poll. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not just the show. It's the whole team worldwide.
You damn right.
Literally. I mean, we're all over the place now, broadcasting from all. I mean, you're yourself being a prime example.
Yep, North Carolina. We got Andy and Butters who do In This Very Ring every Saturday night. They do that from Texas. Yep. When they do go live, and they haven't gone live in a while, weekly roundup with Zack Burr and Stephen Reichel. Zach's in Florida. So we're all over the place.
Yeah, buddy.
And then, if you do miss a live show, don't forget, we podcast format everything. So head over to Spreaker, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts, we're there. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let's go.
People are doing it, man. Heard Tommy posting up over 1,000 downloads the other day. We're definitely things taking off here. Getting back to the poll, once again, the New York Rangers are the hungriest team in the NHL playoffs. Agree or disagree? Brian, I'm going to take the other side. I'm going to disagree with this because I think it's the Avs. And this is why. After a few years of failing in the playoffs, now they're on the precipice of immortality, dude. You got to know that Nate MacKinnon and company is just hungry. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg for the Rangers. They're going to be here. I mean, you got to take advantage whenever you're there. It doesn't matter first time, 12th time, what have you. But you got to think a young team like this is going to be a perennial playoff contender, right? The Avs, I mean, that clock is ticking. And now you're in the Stanley Cup playoffs, 4 wins away from, catching what's eluded you. How can you say the Avs are not the hungriest team right now, especially the way they pure out dominated in the first round, dominated in the Western Conference Finals, and had a little test in between with the 6-gamer against St. Louis?
Well, I mean, they're definitely a hungry team. I mean, any of the 16 teams that made it there are hungry, but like I just think the Avalanche had a fairly easy route to get to the Stanley Cup final, a little bit easier than the Rangers would have had to go through. Obviously, Rangers having to go through Boston and having to go through Carolina, and now having to go through Tampa. Like let's not forget these Eastern Conference finals. These Eastern Conference teams all wound up with over 100 points in the regular season. So these all 8 teams. So no matter which route you got, none of them are going to be easy, because let's be real. The Eastern Conference is absolutely loaded with talent, great teams. There's teams that had winning records that missed the playoffs. Western Conference, not so much. I don't think as good as some teams are in the Western Conference, I don't think that some of these other teams really compare to some of the teams that you're seeing on the East side. Nashville, good team. Colorado handled them pretty easily. And then they played, who did they play in the second round? Why am I blanking?
That was St. Louis. No, it was Nashville, St. Louis, and then Edmonton.
Okay,
correct?
so St. Louis gave them a little bit more of a run than Nashville did, because St. Louis is a little bit more of a physical team, and I think that kind of ran down Colorado a little bit. But ultimately, Colorado was able to finish off the St. Louis Blues, I believe, in 6 games. And then you got Edmonton. I mean, outside of that first line, Edmonton is nothing special, and the fact that they got swept does not surprise me one bit, especially with who their goaltender is. You can say what you want about Mike Smith. He's not good. He got locked in at they played LA. That's an up-and-coming team. You have Edmonton played Calgary, who just kind of fell on their face. Calgary is a much better team than Edmonton is all around. And then, they faced the real team. And the real team just absolutely obliterated them.
Right.
So to say they're the hungriest because it's eluded them the last couple of years, yeah, I could see it. But I got to give it to the Rangers because I think that they've had a tougher road to face than Colorado has.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. It's a very good point. But getting to the fam here, back to the fam here, we got Dylan Ushler going, Flames had the same amount of wins in the Western Conference final as the Oilers. True story. And he goes on to disagree with the poll based on MacKinnon alone after his comments last year saying he was sick and tired of not winning. That man alone is hungrier than anyone on any team in the playoffs. So, I mean, he's seeing it my way, but you do make a good point, though, in terms of, do you sit back a little bit and forget about years past because you feel like you're that, on a roll in this playoffs? Meanwhile, I mean, think of it is maybe Nashville you could throw some shade at, but St. Louis was a good team that they beat. Edmonton Oilers, good team up front, and was playing well defensively and in goal up until this series. So I mean, weaker when you compare to the gauntlet that is the Eastern Conference, specifically the Metro, but that's why this is a great poll because, I can see both sides of it. Jake Friel going, what up, boys? Going to agree with the poll. Plus, they have a nice young talent, too. It's a good point. It's true.
No, it's a great point. They do have the young talent. And to what you
I
got
stuck on a broken record, man. I'm old.
Hey, sometimes. Hey, dude, it happens. What are you going to do? To what you were saying earlier, to why Colorado is the hungrier team, that's why right there. Like, I can see your point there too, because like you said, they have the young talent. They're just getting started. Colorado, on the other hand, guys getting older. Gabriel Landeskog starting to get older. Nathan MacKinnon, he's just a dog. I don't care. Mikko Rantanen, Kel McCarr's on the younger side. So there's still some good young talent there. And you have some really good vets there still as well. But Colorado's getting a little bit older. Rangers are just getting started. So I see it. I can definitely see your point.
It's there. It's all around. I was looking at some of these other, there has been a lot of coaching activity. I'm sure we'll talk about that when we get to around the league. But let's give some love to Anthony. Saying David Cassidy just got fired. Yeah, I think that was earlier in the day, but or at least I had heard about it earlier in the day. I mean, I do have some insiders, but
I think it was yesterday, and it's Bruce Cassidy, not David Cassidy. I think David Cassidy was in the Partridge Family or something like that, but it was Bruce Cassidy.
Did I say Bruce or did I say David reading the comment?
I think you just read the comment.
Damn it. On my face, and I knew it was Bruce too. But yeah, so that was actually yesterday he got let go. Interesting.
Yeah, it was yesterday. I'm not surprised by it. Yeah. Boston's kind of been, I don't want to say falling apart because they are getting older. But to me, Bruce Cassidy he's a fine coach. He's a coach who knows how to win. He's a coach who knows how to drive and motivate his players. I think he could be a good fit for Flyers, honestly. And he's a good coach. He's a good coach. I think he's going to fall in somewhere and he's going to have, I don't want to say, depending on where he goes, he's going to have immediate success. But if he falls to one of these rebuilding teams, I think he's going to run into a little bit of trouble.
All right. Chucks, what up, buddy? Yo, gentlemen, what's going on? What up, Chucks?
There he is.
In the house. There he is. We need Makar versus Fox. Yeah, that'd be a fabulous matchup. Makar's been my favorite player in this year's playoffs.
Agreed. What do you mean has a chance at the Norris Trophy? He's probably going to win the Norris Trophy. I don't think there's anybody who's been better than him all season long. If
there's a cash award, he's already spending it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. We're about 4.5 minutes into the second period. Still 1-0 Tampa Bay lead here. Rangers kind of put a little bit of pressure on here early on. I'll shoot 14-10.
You know who Rebby Sky is, right?
Name sounds familiar.
Matt Hardy's wife.
Oh, yeah.
4 kids and she's still fine. Sorry. It was still up on my Instagram.
It's a professional wrestler's wife. You serious? Becky Lynch, it looks like she never had a kid.
Truth be told.
Mm-hmm. If somebody told me Becky Lynch had a kid, I would be like, false. Liar.
Absolutely. Before we go on with the comments, I'll let you know that tonight's poll, the New York Rangers are the hungriest team in the NHL playoffs. Being brought to you by BetUSA, who's a leading online sports book with over 25 years in the market. You can bet anywhere in the U.S. and on everything. Use the link in the comments for 125% sign-up bonus. Bonus. I love that word.
Bonus. It's a fun word. But
yeah, it is.
There's some other fun words that we're not going to get into tonight because Manny's not here to get us. Although I might get us going.
Dylan chiming back in again. I was in Boston for work yesterday and got to get all the local media and fans actually mad about it. And I mean, is it a little bit hasty? I think so. I'm not hating on them for being mad on it.
No, like I said, man, he's a great coach. He's a borderline great coach. He like I said, he knows how to win hockey games and he knows how to coach guys and get them motivated. I legitimately thought this Boston team without Tuukka Rask was going to take a huge step back, and sure enough, they proved me wrong. I mean, they proved me way wrong on that one. And you know what? It is what it is. But I definitely think it's a little hasty. I think he should get another shot. And, what's that old saying? One person's trash is another man's treasure. So there's going to be one very lucky team who's going to land Bruce Cassidy.
Yeah, no, truth be told. Absolutely, truth be told. Going into this series here, since, obviously we'll talk about this game first since it's live. Maybe during the intermission we can cover more, get back to the Avs Oilers series and how they keep their momentum going. But, I had Tampa Bay winning the series, but I had Tampa Bay winning it in 7. And this game is a big indicator of where this series is going to go. Obviously, Rangers can get a stranglehold on this series, going up 3-1. Tampa Bay ties it up 2. Now it's a best of 3, and it makes my prediction a little bit more, have some more water, some more credo to it. So based on what you've seen tonight, Brian, do you see Tampa Bay holding on to this lead? How do you see this game working out? How do you see the rest of the series working out?
Well, I mean, the rest of the series, this is going to be a very long series. And I picked the Rangers in 7 just to be different from everybody else. Did I actually believe that they were going to be able to pull a series lead? I did not believe it. Did I think it was a little more unlikely? Yeah. Because I know this Tampa Bay team is just, rolling. And but as far as
proving me wrong.
Yeah. It's proving me wrong too. What else to do? But for the Rangers to have the series lead this early, it says a lot about this team. And I think we're seeing a little bit early on here in the second, as we're about midway through the second period. Rangers are buzzing a little bit more. They're pushing the pace. I think one of the things they need to continue to do is create offensive zone time.
Yeah.
And,
they're seriously down in that in the first period. It seems like it's evening out a little bit now.
Yeah, I didn't get to see the first period because I was too busy making dinner and shoving it down my gullet.
I got you. I'm all over the Pat Maroon goal. It's a great goal.
I did see the Pat Maroon goal. That was a great goal for him. That's going to get this team fired up, absolutely, because a guy like that's just your pure energy guy. So that gives a little bit of momentum to the Lightning and gets them going a little bit. But like I said, the forecheck is picked up here for the Rangers in this game. They're forcing the Lightning to make some bad passes and turn the puck over. They just need to figure out a way to find some sustained offensive pressure and get some shots, more shots on net, as I think they're still out shooting Tampa Bay. Last I saw it was 14-10, but that was almost a costly turnover there for the Rangers, actually. But, I mean, if they can do that and they can create some, havoc, I think once they beat Vasilevsky the first time, I think they're gonna figure out a way to win this hockey game. They gotta steal one on the road. I know they have home ice, but they have to steal one on the road.
Havoc's such a freaking awesome word. Yeah, it's 14-10 shots in favor of the Rangers.
Mm-hmm. So they haven't had a shot. No, neither team has had a shot in the last 4+ minutes. Yes, Raska, that's something I can agree with. She's super hot, and then when she's talking,
yeah, buddy.
Anthony says disagree that the Avs are hungry.
Appreciate it.
I don't know who that is, but I'm gonna have to look her up after the show.
After, during, whichever. But I took that like
I got a lot to do, Robbie. Come on now, I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not used to this producing thing anymore. But for those who don't know, I did start at HUD as a producer, and I did a pretty damn good job.
Yeah, you did.
It was stressful as hell. I had to get out of it. I had to. I couldn't do it anymore. I'm like, what if something goes wrong?
Right. When like YouTube crashes for no apparent reason.
For no reason at all either. Yeah,
I've heard that too, Chris. Yeah, here in Dallas really wants Strotz. I'm guessing he goes to Vancouver. I thought Vancouver would be a good fit for where they are for Trotz, but I think Dallas presents in my opinion, a better win now opportunity than Vancouver. Agree or disagree with that, Brian?
Well, I mean, I thought Bruce Boudreau is going to return to Vancouver. I thought I read that. Maybe I read it wrong. So I think Vancouver's out regardless. But
okay.
I do think I'm between two teams with Barry Trotz. You could say, okay, he did correct himself. He said Winnipeg.
Oh, that's right. Right.
But I have two teams in mind. I don't think he's interviewed with him yet, but they should do the due diligence and talk to Trotz. I'm between Vegas and Dallas. I think Dallas is a great fit. I think Dallas will be a great fit because they're a team that's young, but they're ready to win now. I think they're just like a piece or two off. And But and obviously Vegas is a team that's built to win now. I don't think he's going to go to any team that has any form of rebuild. I don't think he wants to wait. I think he's in the position to want to win now, and I think he's going to go to that team that wants to win now. And like I said, I think Vegas is a really good fit. They're a team of leaders. They're a team of guys who just play the game right. And Trotz is a guy. He can motivate the vets better than not many coaches out there that I know of.
Right.
And then obviously, with Dallas being, I think they got a bigger window right now than Vegas. But I think he goes to one of those two teams for sure.
Right. And I think Vegas would even have a better win now opportunity than even Dallas.
No, absolutely. What's up, John? Long time no see, bro.
Absolutely. Hey, gentlemen, how's everyone? Long time. The playoffs have been awesome. Only issue is no Flyers. I hear you. But what else is new these days? I hear you. It'll be a few more years as well. Hoping Colorado takes it all. Yeah, man, we're cut from the same cloth there. I have enjoyed the playoffs. I've enjoyed what ESPN and TNT has brought in terms of their coverage of the playoffs as well. It has been presented in a very storybook manner, something that you can get into even if your team is not in it. But yeah, it'd be a hell of a lot better if the Flyers were in it, John. I agree. We need a real center, and Carter best have himself a season. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a better season. He definitely had a better season, and they have a real center. He just has to get healthy. Sean, you can't forget about Sean Couturier.
Truth.
I mean, that's arguably one of the top 5 two-way centermen in the game right now, and he's a 30 goal scorer. So, right. Missing him all year hurt. But yeah, we can't forget about him.
Truth
hey, this jackoff has joined us.
Yeah, but he might want to strike your mouth there, man. I'm sad with some sad news here. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Don. Dude, I'm sorry, brother. I really am, man. I hope you feel better soon, homie. That sucks, Don, man. Get better soon, man. We're praying for you. We're praying for you.
Hey, some you have to get through. You know what I mean? Like, it isn't what it once was. You know what I mean? In terms of, means to fight off and hopefully get through it. But I know a lot of people around my area saying that, I mean, yeah, you don't feel like it's as life-threatening anymore, but it's a bitch of a cold. Like, it's a debilitating. It's like take the worst flu you ever had and then multiply that by 10 is how it's been described to me still. So, still thoughts going out to Don, but maybe next time wear a mask when you're hitting those international banks. You know what I mean?
That's not where I thought you were gonna go with that, but that's just as funny. Yeah, Don, feel better, brother.
A little smile.
You got John. John wants you to feel better as well.
Yeah, buddy. What? Hey, what's up, Johnny? What up, gentlemen? I tuned into A2D. I didn't realize I needed to purchase tickets. Yeah, right.
Notice I'm in long sleeves, so I gotta hide the guns. The guns.
What?
I need to get back to the gym. The guns don't look as good as they did. I gotta get them. I gotta get them going again.
It's a little humid up here in Jersey today, even with the AC. So got a little sweat on, but
yeah, it's all right.
I used to have better when I was younger, but
right. All right. Dan's got
at least the tats have held, dude. These tats are old as hell, and I've never had them retouched once.
Yeah, well, Dan's got a nice little comment for you.
Oh boy.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that's when he got them too. The razor wire tat. What is this? The 2000s.
Yeah, I got that 2007. Yeah, I think it was 2007. And it's actually a crown of thorns to remind myself that don't be a martyr. Everybody has problems. Sort of the background to it for me.
I love it. You love it.
I had a tendency to be like, oh, woe is me, throw the pity party, which is just as bad as being egotistical. It's just on the opposite end of the spectrum, but it's just as vain. So I wanted to kind of get back in the middle. That's what that reminds me of. But thanks, Dan. Appreciate you.
So he's got one for me too. I mean, he assumed I was on the comment button. You know,
Charlie Murphy.
he's got to remember I got the FU button too, so I can give his ass the boot if he decides he wants to act out tonight. So just keep that in mind, there, Danny boy. And then we got John chiming back in there. John, my boy, my dude, that's my guy right there.
Hey, we gotta get some more members up in here. Where are our members?
Seriously, we need to get the memberships up. Hang on, give me a second to find it. Hang on, I got it. We're there.
All right, cool. Well, if you find it, I'll read it. Become an A2D member for $9.99 a month. You can get some amazing perks, including shout-outs, members-only shows, appearances, weekly picks from the Money Pop podcast. Join today. The link's in the comments. It pays for itself. We talk about it every week, and I've been having a phenomenal season between this place and the other place, dude. Oh, my goodness.
You got some
up at least 12 units at this point on the baseball season.
Yo, we got a nice fight going on right now.
Yeah, we do.
Brendan Hagel and it looks like Frank Vetrano.
Vetrano, yep. Wow, he's bashing on the back of his head there.
Mm-hmm. It's about time.
Oh, this is a brouhaha.
Mm-hmm. Two guys you wouldn't expect. Oh, this is going to get the Lightning fired up. This is that fight, that scrap's going to get the Lightning fired up. So whatever momentum the Rangers were trying to build in the second period could be gone because Brendan Hagel is not the fighting type. Frank Vetrano is the type he's gonna get under your skin, but getting Hagel to throw well like he did, that's gonna get this Lightning team going. But I didn't even see what happened there. Oh wow, that didn't really start over much.
Yeah, just chirping. It was from chirping.
Pretty much. I mean, it was just maybe a little slight, like letting you know I'm there, like little check to the lower back.
Yeah, they were talking about in the pregame how much of a chirping series this has been.
Oh yeah, I mean that first game.
Tampa Bay brings it
in
that regard.
Oh, they got a bunch of guys that can talk. You know, one of the best chirpers they got one of the best chirpers in the game though. In Corey Perry, you know, he knows how to get under your skin.
Truth.
Love it.
Old. Yeah, what's on the other arm? How do I work? Oh, yeah. No, this way. That's a Fire Dancer from Dave Matthews Band. Followed them for over 20. Well, yeah, it was over 25 years when I got the tag, so it's well beyond now.
Yeah, and this is the only one I got.
Yeah. Show that off. That
hang on, I'm trying. It's not working.
There you go.
Yeah.
Remember, left is right and right is left.
No, it's just trying to get myself angled in the computer right.
No, I got you.
So, yeah, so that's that one. I mean, it's pretty badass tattoo.
Yeah, it is.
I got a couple more on the way. Yeah, Johnny, you know. Wait, what? Wait. If you're the taller one, you need to be Pronger. Which, by the way, tomorrow marks the 2 years since we've had Chris Pronger on.
Oh, man.
Go back and check that out. Go back on YouTube and check out that interview. That was such a great time.
2 years ago already. I got to reach out.
2 years ago already.
I got to reach out to him and prop. I'll do that.
Yeah, I reach out to him every once in a while. I still hear from Kobe Cohen every so often. Kobe's doing a great job in Chicago.
Nice.
Doing
Nice.
post game and intermission live for the Blackhawks.
Nice.
Yeah, defensive partners for life, brother.
Man, this gets really crunched down. There's not a lot of space anywhere on the ice.
No,
a little pass back to the goaltender. I haven't seen that in a while.
Oh, absolutely hasn't. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And he was very impressed when I pulled that hat out too. He was like, "Whoa!" And you will always have Pav. We'll always have Pav.
Pav, yeah.
And you don't correct Chris Pronger when he says your name wrong. You just like, "Yep, that's my name now." What do you mean? Chris Pronger said that's my name. Oh, that's a big rebound there by Shesterkin.
I only correct people when it's like important to the story, and being on the other side of an interview. This is what people in the media forget. You're not part of the story, so stop trying to be.
There it is.
Massive humanity in front of the New York Rangers net.
Mm-hmm. That's a huge
Still
goal.
1-0. 7 minutes left to go in the second. Shot 17-12 in favor of the Rangers, and
oh wow, you're behind me.
now it's 17-11. Yeah, I'm watching on Hulu actually because I'm in the other room. Or ESPN Plus.
Yeah. So now it's 2-0.
Big goal.
Huge goal by Nikita Kucherov.
Who else?
Partial break. Looks like he went low glove side.
Cooch. I like the Cooch.
So do I.
Nikita's a great player.
Yeah, he is.
Wow.
And he's entertaining at the press conference. Yeah, partial
what
break.
What a move to the forearm there, going glove side on him.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't expecting that. He was playing more. Oh no! Did he get him 5-0?
It looked like he went low glove. It looked like he got it between the glove and the shin pad.
That's what I originally saw live, but on that replay, it looked like it was on the opposite end coming in on the goalie. It looked like it might have went underneath the pad, but either way, it's a goal. It still counts.
Counts all the same. Yep. Yeah, it was 5-hole because they put up a stat saying 12 5-hole goals allowed, 7 more than any other goalie.
That's interesting. You bring this up, Rosca, because when we get into talking a little bit about the Western Conference Finals, I figured, like you said, maybe cover that during the intermission, going into the third period of this game. I give a little ode to the Anaheim Ducks and their most recent history in the Stanley Cups. But yeah, Rosca goes, yesterday was 15 years ago when the Anaheim Ducks won the Stanley Cup Champions for the first time. 15 years already. Crazy.
I know. We're long overdue for another one.
Yep.
What am I talking about? What am I talking about? There's 2 other teams that are more long overdue than we are.
Yeah, true. Yes, please. One of them's behind me. Get the Chief on from the Blues, maybe Keith Jones. Yeah, that would be great. Actually, we got some contacts here. Sports Hounds, I know, are in tight with JJ. I'd love to have both him and Jonesy on. Freaking, like what makes Jones good, and you see that when you have like your local teams broadcasters like get into the national circuit, as Keith Jones has been for many years now, is that he may have not been able to play the game with eliteness, but he knows the game with eliteness. You know what I mean? He just knows it so well and can just break it down where it's not something that you can tell like he prepared. He sees something and he just reads and reacts to it. Absolutely love that. And talk about dude with a sense of humor. He fit in here like a spaghetti and tuna fish.
Yes, he would. And you know what? Even if you listen to the WIP Morning Show when he's on there with them, he's a highly entertaining man.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a dude. Like that's all he is. He's a dude, and unlike us, he gets paid to watch hockey, so that's what makes him a little bit better than we are. But we're still great at what we do.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know. That fight really swung the momentum in the Lightning's direction. Like it really swung it, and then you get that goal.
Right.
If the Rangers want a chance in this game, especially with 5 minutes left to go in the second period, you're going to have 20 minutes to really respond.
Right.
You got to get a goal before the intermission. You got to pull this game back within 1.
Right. Next goal is huge. Absolutely.
Next goal is very huge for this game.
Right.
I mean, even if you go into the break 2-0, that's not terrible. But if you need to get one back, you have to get one back here. You have to answer. You have to respond. You got to start building momentum back in your favor going into the third period. Otherwise, once the Lightning have full momentum in the third, it's game over.
Right, for sure. Well, I mean, it's been a tale of 2 series at this point, and it's been the home teams have just been superior. I mean, like we've already referenced that 6-2 absolute shell-shocking victory in game 1 for the Rangers, backed up again in a better game too. Definitely a better game too, but still in favor of the blue shirts. And then you get back to Tampa, and it's just a different story. Playing that on home ice for the Lightning. You saw that defense come back a little bit and reel the Rangers in a tough 3-2 contest, but then they flip that script around and take a 3-2 contest, and now are up 2-0 tonight. It just really shows that, ultimately in the end, you got to look at the Rangers, despite being perceived as the underdog. Of course, when you're playing not only the Stanley Cup champion, but the back-to-back Stanley Cup champion, they're the ones with home ice. And that kind of feeds into why you picked the Rangers in 7.
Partially, I mean, if you look how it breaks down, though, the one thing I keep failing to mention is this Rangers team has played a lot more hockey than Tampa Bay.
Sure.
And Tampa Bay did get that break. Don, we love you too, brother. Seriously, feel better soon, man.
Absolutely, brother.
We love you, brother. But the Rangers, I think the Avalanche are taking the cup regardless.
Right.
But I agree with John here. Let me scroll back up and get it. Colorado's awesome, but he's right. Goaltending does win. But, this Colorado Avalanche's offense and their power play is wicked.
Right.
Wicked. And, yeah, you definitely give Tampa Bay the edge here in goaltending because they have the best goaltender in the world right now.
Right.
Shesterkin is a top 5 for me. I mean, obviously he needs to work on the 5-hole, but if Colorado can figure out a way to, just kind of be okay with who they have and defend well in front like they have been, I don't see the Rangers or Tampa Bay beating them. I don't.
Right.
It's like some of these guys in here are saying, this Colorado team is wicked loaded. And to the guys who are disagreeing to the poll, obviously they think they're going to win the Stanley Cup because they are incredibly hungry, and Nathan MacKinnon wants it more than anybody.
Right. Well, I think it'll key in on Darcy Kemper's health status, because, I mean, he's played like that number 1 role in this league, and he's been playing very well in this playoffs. But Francois came in and played very well against an Oilers team, a desperate Oilers team that was, trying to, hold on for dear life in that series, couldn't get the job done. Are either one of them Vasilevsky or Igor Shesterkin? Absolutely not. But it's not the best right now. And we've seen moments in, that we've seen a couple chinks in the armor of both elite goaltenders in the Eastern Conference Final.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like we saw Vasilevsky get smoked for 6 goals. We're seeing Igor Shesterkin show the kink in the chain in the 5-hole. Sometimes it's not always the best. It's not always the best teams that win. It's in this NHL Stanley Cup Finals. Sometimes it's the hottest team, and sometimes it's led by the hottest goalie. We use this all the time, but in 2010 when the Flyers went, did they have a stud goaltender? No. Did they get beat by a stud goaltender? No, but they did get beat by the hottest goaltender. Corey Crawford was never the best regular season goaltender, but he was great in the playoffs when it mattered, which is why the Chicago Blackhawks won 3 Stanley Cups in that time frame.
Brian, you put the frown on my avatar.
Huh?
You put the frown on my avatar.
It's I put the frown on a lot of things. You need to be better prepared, Priz. Miss you, buddy.
I love the honesty.
Mm-hmm. We got a bunch more comments here. Johnny wishing Don the best. Obviously, put an octopus on your face. I heard it helps. Oh, man. See, Don, we're family here. You don't want to believe it, but we are. We all love you, brother. And then this is interesting. This is fact here by John. Joe Sakic did put a nice team together.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. With more grit this season,
Mhm.
this go around, this rendition of their Stanley Cup push.
Yeah, but I kind of disagree with this. I don't think Ron Hextall put a bad team together. I think his plan versus what everybody above him in the organization wanted to do got him fired. I think he did an okay job at drafting. I think the Flyers organization did a bad job at developing because we've seen what TK can do. We've seen the type of player that Provorov can be. Everybody wants to rip on Carter Hart, but I think Carter Hart's going to be a fantastic goalie. He's just everybody has to remember that he's a kid. He's a kid. Not even 24 years old yet, and everybody wants to run this kid out of town. Stop it. He's a kid. He still needs to develop too. And they need to put a better defense in front of him. But it was, he drafted talent. I just don't think they developed them properly. I think that's where a lot of the bad, I don't want to say hate towards Hextall came from, but I've given him a little bit of gripe for the guys that he's drafted, but he's also drafted guys that have panned out. So I'm not gonna shun him and say that he's a terrible GM. I mean, the Flyers were his first official GM job. Everybody forgets that he was only an assistant GM to Dean Lombardi in LA. And he did help build that LA team.
Right.
And now he's in Pittsburgh. And look at Pittsburgh right now. I mean, yeah, they're older. Yeah, they got eliminated in the first round. But there's still an organization that's winning hockey games. But again, some of this stuff takes time. And I think the Flyers rushing some of these young guys and playing the goalie not the goalie carousel, the coaching carousel, it hurts development.
Pierre Vasilevsky was having a blade issue. He's been worked on the bench, so there's been a stoppage for quite a while. He's getting back in net now, at least on my stream. Probably I'm a little behind.
Oh, I haven't. I just looked up for the first time. I didn't even notice. But the Rangers look like they've been. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, Ted brings up a good point. Look at the Kings the year they won. Even though Hexie was as an assistant, still he had the effects in there, and he's had effects, with the Penguins having a strong year despite a lot of injuries early on. A lot of people forget about how ravaged that team was from injuries and health and safety protocols. And, to finish the season with a pretty, good record, well above the Flyers and in the playoffs. Yeah, they lost in the first round. I'm not going to stick up for the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's not my DNA. But still, there's more things wrong in Philadelphia than just Ron Hextall when he was here. Is, I think, an agreed upon point.
No, I agree. Yeah, Ted, they absolutely were stacked. And they should have been the team to win the Stanley Cup, especially the year that they beat the Flyers. They were the best team in the league that year. Not a fan of Stranger Things, though, Ted. I haven't watched one single episode.
I'm not quite done with season 4 yet. I still got 2 more episodes to go. But yeah, it's a good show. Clearly,
you're not watching these playoffs because these playoffs have been pretty fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. I got my baseball and hockey on during the season. My Stranger Things usually goes down between 2 and 3 a.m. as most did.
I mean, by 2 or 3 a.m., I'm out cold. I'm out. I work way too much.
Don't be mad because I have other adult friends.
Listen, I'm not mad. I just need some adult friends myself.
Hey now.
I mean, yeah, he did draft Rubtsov, but not every draft pick is going to hit. I mean, it sucks that he didn't pan out, but he's the Florida Panthers problem now. This is a great question from John.
Huge. Absolutely. How big of a step forward does Cam York have to take this year? Have to take? I wouldn't say he has to take it, but I think he will take it. Like I actually answered the question before I finished the question that I think he's going to absolutely take a big step forward in here. This kid's got the pedigree, and now he's going to be coming in, not assuming that he's going to have, you got to fight for every roster spot. I don't think any hockey player assumes that, but coming in, to make this team from Jump Street, got to give you a better effort than the gloriousness that we did see last year as he stepped in from the AHL and below.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to take a step forward. I don't think he's going to take a leap, but I think he's going to take a step forward. I don't think he's been bad. I think he's been pretty good. And I think he's just going to get better as he gets more comfortable. And that's going to come with just playing. I think the roster spot is his this year to lose.
Yeah.
I don't think he spends any time in the AHL. I think this kid is ready now.
Yeah.
I thought he was ready last year. And unfortunately, he got hurt, which kind of, had him regress a little bit. But, he picked it back up when the time mattered. But, again, this is going to be a situation where he just has to play and get comfortable with the speed and playing, against some of the best guys in the world. But,
right.
I think he definitely takes a step forward, depending on who he's partnered with. And if they can go out and get a nice defenseman, I think he could take a pretty substantial step forward and prove that he's a top tier defenseman like he was projected to be.
Yeah, this game is getting into like dunk hut mode, man. Sniper City, a lot of one-timers, just narrowly missing the net right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a barrage as they go into the second intermission. But looks like it's going to be 2-0 Rangers. 2-0 Lightning, despite the Rangers leading in shots on the. I believe I saw 22-14 last count. This is going to be a barn burner of a third period. But that wraps up our first period, and our first period sponsor is EXP Realty. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, looking for a change in career or brokerage, contact Alan Foyer at EXP Realty LLC at 302-682-8820. That's EXP Realty LLC, 302-682-8820, or visit them at alan.foyer at exprealty.com.
I should have used them. I could have probably gotten a pretty good deal down here.
Yeah, man. Why'd you sleep on that? But yeah, we'll shift over
before you became a part of the company.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Sometimes life's about timing. And
It really is.
And the Edmonton Oilers had zero timing when it came to, an Eastern Conference final that they came in riding off a toughly fought victory in the semis over our strong Calgary Flames team, only to get down and get swept by, who was clearly the superior team in the Colorado Avalanche. Little factoid here, and this ties into my ode to your Ducks, Brian. The Avalanche became just the sixth team in the last 20 seasons to sweep a conference final series, but only 2 of the previous 5 teams went on to hoist the cup. One of them was your Ducks in 09.
07.
Yeah, I thought it was 07. I got this factoid from an ESPN article, and I saw 2009. I'm like, wasn't that 07 with Pronger? And I'm like, I'm just going to leave it because maybe I was wrong, and they won it 2 years later. But I thought it was 2007. Pardon me.
Yep,
What was in 2010 was the Chicago Blackhawks. They were the other team after sweeping the Western Conference Finals. They went on to beat my Flyers, unfortunately, but the other 3 teams that swept their finals were your Ducks in 03, the 2019 Boston Bruins. They lost in Game 7 of their respective Cup Finals, tough heartbreak. And then 2013 Bruins, who lost in Game 6. So if you look at these 6 teams here that have swept their respective conference finals, it's been the Bruins 3 times, right? No, I'm sorry, twice. It's been the Bruins twice, the Ducks twice, the Blackhawks, and the Avalanche. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I always forget that 2003 wound up being a sweep because that was Minnesota's first time in the Western Conference Finals as well. I always forget because Anaheim would have been the first team as an 8 seed to win a Stanley Cup if they had wound up beating the New Jersey Devils that year.
Right.
Breaks my heart. Especially since my brother's a Devils fan, doesn't let me live that down.
Oh, I'm sure he won't. Nor should he, right?
I mean, I don't think he looks stupid, but I mean, the Avs haven't won anything yet. They may not beat Tampa Bay. They may not beat New York. We don't know who they're playing yet. Nothing's been played out yet. So,
right.
If Colorado doesn't win, nothing changes.
Right.
So I don't think he looks stupid, but he went where he wanted to go. He didn't want to go to Colorado. I don't necessarily know if it was he was cup chasing for Florida or if he just wanted to go to Florida. We don't know. We don't know his mindset behind that.
Right. Still, wrong bag man.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've been seeing that a lot lately. Drew looks so dumb for not choosing Colorado, this, that, and the other. Colorado hasn't won anything yet. Let's keep that to a minimum. Let's be better. Let's be better fans than that.
Look at what the fact I just gave. 3 out of 5 teams in the past 20 years that have swept their conference finals have not gone on to win the cup. So you can't assume that. I mean, maybe that'd be more heartbreaking if you get all the way there and then don't make it then rather than a quick second round exit. But I mean, he put his eggs in one basket. I think it was. You also got to think of his family. I mean, a lot of people don't put in that factor. You know what I mean? Where did his wife want to go in terms of options? You know what I mean? Like she was feeling the FLA. You know what I mean? Maybe good schools down there. You don't know. Sunrise.
I mean, like I said, we don't know. We don't know his thoughts.
They're probably in Ottawa or whatever.
Although I hear Ottawa's an option in free agency. Yeah, Madison's a strip club with James Harden. They drove down to Florida. They went to Miami for the weekend. He needed a getaway. And of all the people, it was weird. He was like, boys, I'm going down with James Harden. I'm like, Sixers James Harden? He said, yeah. I was like, what? I said, Matty, you're not a basketball fan. He's like, he offered. He's paying the entire way? He said, yep. I was like, shit, can I come? He said no.
He's like, nah, bro. Maybe next time. That's what he said.
He's like, I heard what you said about me. Nah, bro. I was like, I supported you and I defended you. He said, no, you didn't. I said, well, shit. But no, seriously, Matty is taking care of some stuff with his mom and he's got some personal stuff going on here. So he had the last minute take the show off. So no worries. What else we got going on here? What's up, Benny? Yeah, Benny. I think Edmonton is absolutely a goalie away. I've been saying this probably for about, I feel like at least 3 years now, or however long they've had Mike Smith. Defense isn't bad. They don't play poorly in front of them, and we obviously know that offense is. I think that offense is quite streaky. I think they need to add a little bit of depth to that offense too, but I think ultimately they are a goaltender away. I'm hearing a lot of rumors surrounding Jonathan Gibson from Anaheim heading to Edmonton. I expect them to kind of increase as we continue to go. That's the big thing there is for Edmonton moving forward because he was horrendous. He was horrendous from game one. And he got chased, I believe, in the first period. He got chased, and going into that series against Colorado, I feel like that he was pretty much locked in at that point. But then, he you get to face a team like Colorado, and you realize that whatever he was locked in for, not no more. They rocked him, and it really, he had no answer. He had no answer for Colorado. They just absolutely took it to him, and he just didn't look good. He didn't look good from the jump. He didn't look good at any aspect of that series. So, yeah, I totally believe
Tough
that.
task, though.
It's a very tough task.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think if Edmonton can go out and get a goalie via trade, which I think is really the only way they're going to get one, and I do think it is going to be Jonathan Gibson, I think they'll be all right. I think that Anaheim, they're going to send a package back to Anaheim for him because he's an elite goaltender. But I think Edmonton would be a better situation for him. And I think he's a better situation for Edmonton. So I think that one's really going to work out.
Right.
But that's just my guess. I don't really know for sure, but that's just my guess is they're going to make a hard push for a goaltender in the offseason, possibly at the draft.
Yeah. I mean, that's if they want to have hopes of getting back to next year's playoffs, they got to address the goaltender situation. It just has to happen.
Yeah, and I thought, I'm not even going to sit here and lie. Like I was saying last week, I was wrong about Edmonton. I was wrong. They got hot at the right time, and they played well in front of Mike Smith for the most part.
Yeah, but then you got real right real quick.
What did I say? Do you remember what I said? I was pretty.
That Mike Smith was going to falter and fail in this series. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, well, it's simpler than that. I just said he fucking stinks, and he does fucking stink. Like he's not good. He's 40-some. He's like 40 years old. Like he's not the goalie that he was in Arizona, and he was a very good goaltender in Arizona, but he's not that guy anymore. He's not a guy that's going to be able to carry all that. I don't want to necessarily say weight. He's not the guy anymore. He's not. I love Marc-Andre Fleury, but he's not that goaltender anymore. I don't think he's that goalie anymore either. I don't think he's a guy that you can rely on for 60 games a year. He's just not. These guys are getting older.
Is Mike Smith in his 40s?
I think Mike Smith is 39 or 40.
Yeah, I thought he's creeping up to it.
Yeah, he's definitely creeping. If he's not bored, if he's not, I think he's like maybe 41 at the oldest.
Right.
At the absolute oldest.
I mean, you're talking about a guy who gave up 6 goals, 25 shots in game 1 before getting replaced by Kassian. Going through the rest of the series here. Gives up, it was a 4-0 win by Colorado in game 2. Just want to see if he was, I would assume that they would put him back in net for there, which they did, and he gave up all 4 of those goals on 40 shots, though, which is not bad. It's not a 900 save percentage, but still, it's not getting the job done.
No, you're absolutely right. And you know what? Especially when you're facing a really tough team, like really you're real like first legit, like not taking anything away from I'm not taking anything away from Calgary because Calgary is a very good team, but they kind of faltered and they took advantage of it especially after game 1. I thought Calgary was going to just absolutely manhandle Edmonton in that series. And Edmonton made it a series and they wound up winning, but when you're facing one of the best teams in the league in the Eastern Conference, in the Western Conference Final, and you know how hungry they are, right. And you know the talent level that they have, going into that series, you don't have a shot in hell.
Oh no.
And I like what Edmonton has up front. It's the back end and the goaltending that I think is their biggest issue, and I think they got exposed by Colorado.
Yeah. There was Band-Aids on it. We've said, I said that, earlier on in this playoffs, and the Band-Aids were working, but eventually the blood becomes too much leakage. But
no, I agree. Ted, I'm dead serious. Like, I know he wanted to go to a cup contender, and I think he went to the team that he thought had the best chance to win the cup. But do we know for sure that he was actually cup chasing and not just trying to pick a team where he thought he was going to have the best option for a future?
Right.
We don't, I'm just saying, we don't know what his mindset was. We're just assuming. We don't assume.
Right.
We don't assume. If I don't know the answer, I'm not going to give it to you.
Right.
We're not like the Philadelphia media who makes it their job to have some kind of an agenda. We don't do that.
We're not making an ass out of you or me here.
Nah, bro.
Nah.
We don't know for sure what Drew wanted. Did he want a cup chase? Maybe. We don't know for sure, but I'm not going to speculate that. I mean, does he deserve a cup? Absolutely. I would love to see Drew get a cup before he retires, but that might not happen. And in the Stanley Cup playoffs, when you're in a very tight conference, like there's no guarantees.
Why do the two have to be mutually exclusive there? You know what I mean? Like you're talking about, you're picking the team that you want to go to, is the number one team in the league at that point, a strong, contender for the President's Trophy, who went on to get the President's Trophy. And we get that the curse that goes with that, but that's, can't go by that. You know what I mean? Like that's not realistic. That's a superstitious nonsense. In the end, it's like, Florida, you would think with the depth of that team would give you the best chance opposed to a Colorado Avalanche team who I said earlier in the show has a team that has faltered in the playoffs now. It didn't work out like that. And there's a lot of mud in his face. And I'm not saying it's all unjustly, but I agree with my partner here. You can't really comment on what's going on in a player's head because there's the human issue.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. And I'm not to an extent, you're right here, but this is a team sport. They rely on 4 lines. You shut down that first line, Edmonton is done.
Right.
They don't have that depth. McDavid carried the team. I absolutely agree to that.
Right.
But they got lucky with who they drew.
Right. Now Mike Smith did rebound pretty nicely in Game 3. I mean, he had 3 goals allowed on 42 shots, which was a .929 save percentage. The 4th goal was an empty netter. Now his team did, where was McDavid in the offense in that game? They got shut down by Francois, I believe, was in at that point, who pitched the shutout there. And then in the Game 4, man, that was a game that I actually had to hit the sack early on. So I'm looking at that going 3-1 into the third. Mike Smith was playing, what we saw earlier on in the playoffs. But, man, what a wild third period. 6 goals scored total, 4 for the Avalanche, tying it up, going to overtime, and then them winning it in overtime on the stick of what? I had this before. I forget who the game winner was in that game. It was
Game 4. Why do I feel like it was JT Compher?
No, MacKinnon. I knew it was Arturi Lehkonen.
Arturi Lehkonen.
I had thought it was Cale Makar. He opened the scoring in that game. It was another game that he had an OT game winner in. But yeah, honestly, like talking about choke job, like your chances of coming back down 3-0 very slim to none. But you'd like to give yourself a chance to do that, and you had that opportunity there to get back in the series, make it 3-1, and the real Mike Smith finally came and stood up, and he did not stand up in that.
Yeah, and it's not a shot at the Oilers team as a whole. I think the Oilers team as a whole is a good team.
Right.
I just think they need a goaltender. They need a goaltender if they really want to make a cup run.
Right.
A goalie can get hot. Yeah, absolutely. But that doesn't make you a good team. It doesn't make the goalie good either. It just means the goalie got hot.
Right.
But another interesting question here from Benny. Do the Panthers make Bob available with Spencer Knight in the wings?
I think they do. Because like Bob has proven where he'll make the average save, but he doesn't give you the spectacular save, the game-winning save that you need in the playoffs, standing up on your head, like we saw when he won the Vezina. Like those days are beyond him. And, Spencer Knight's a talent. I think you got a role there. I think you can still get a decent return for Bob when you can. Do you agree or disagree with that, Brian?
No, I agree with that. I think he simplified his game a little bit more, and he doesn't really need to do anything spectacular. he's a good goalie. He's going to win He's going to win you hockey games for sure. And
Sure.
the only thing that makes me curious if he's actually going to get moved is that contract.
Right.
He does have a cap hit of $10 million, I believe, signing a lucrative extension with the Florida Panthers. But they can find a team to have some space. I think some of these younger up and coming teams are going to be the ones that you want to keep your eye on for a goaltender like him. I love Spencer Knight. I think he's the future for this organization. I think he's going to be better than Bobrovsky. But whether or not Spencer Knight's ready is going to be a whole nother question, because he's still rather on the young side as well, still developing. I think he needs to be playing the AHL for maybe one more year, depending on how camp goes and, how he develops during the offseason as well. So, I mean, we'll see. I think Bobrovsky winds up on a team with a lot of salary cap because I think he needs to. Especially, some of these teams, it wouldn't surprise me if Sergei Bobrovsky winds up in Arizona because they have a ton of cap space and they're going to want to sell tickets.
Yeah. Tying the two issues together, though, Brian, I'm looking at Cap Friendly's page for Edmonton Oilers. They currently have $7.13 million available. If they were to maybe wiggle room and try to work some contracts to get that up to 10, could you see Bobrovsky in an Edmonton Oilers uniform?
I could. I don't know if we do, though, because they just gave a hefty contract to Zach Hyman. And, I mean, unless you send somebody with a contract the other way, right. I don't know how you can make it work. Because obviously you want your future you want your core to stay put in Edmonton. You don't want to give up much for that. So obviously McDavid's off the board, Draisaitl's off the board. Probably Nugent Hopkins might be off the board now that he found his touch towards the end of that series. Connor Brogdon's off the board. Darnell Nurse is off the board.
We're in the third period now. Tampa Bay already with a chance in front of the net. Minute into the third. Stamkos hitting the deck, almost putting it behind the net or in the net.
I think that was a necessary penalty for Kopp.
Yeah, man, he was about to score there.
Yeah, that was a necessary penalty. Some of them, there are necessary ones, believe it or not. I don't think that was a dumb penalty. I think that was a smart one.
Absolutely. If you say it, obvious, I mean, he's one on the goaltender right there.
Mm-hmm. And although, obviously, if they kill this off, it looks even smarter, but it does look a little bit more dumb if they do score on the power play here. So it's the smart penalties sometimes are a double-edged sword.
The key guy. I mean, I say Tampa Bay gets its power play goal. This series is tied up 2-2.
Yeah, I think that they get goal number 3 here, even though it's very early in the third period and anything can happen. I don't want to say the nail's in the coffin, but the coffin's pretty closed.
It's a huge advantage for Tampa Bay, a team that's experienced, not going to be making the mistakes that a young Rangers team can take advantage of with their speed, that we've seen with other are they having a little best goaltender of all time debate? I like it. I like it, Warrior. I'm with you, Warrior, on that. I can't vote for Marty. I'd be ostracized.
I want to vote for Marty, but you know what? Fuck it. I am going to vote for Marty. Berder's my guy. He's my goat.
The guy. I mean, there's got to be some real talk there. I'm pure homer, but I mean, I can still make a case for though. Definitely. Hasek too, man. I mean, he doesn't quite have the stats that the other prior two have, but if you want to talk about pure talent in the net, the athleticism and the sprawling, like talking about making that spectacular save in the playoffs, Hasek is your dude.
Oh yeah, he knew how to do that. His athleticism was second to none. Mm-hmm. I do think he got lucky on a lot of those because he would just flop around all over the place. I love Hasek. It's pretty. I mean, it's cut and dry who the top 3 goaltenders of all time are, and that's Brodeur, Waugh, and Hasek. Where you decide to put them, I don't think there's any wrong combination to put those 3. But if those 3 are, as long as those 3 are your top 3, there's no wrong answer to that.
Right on.
I know Priz has I know Priz has his choice there. I love the playoff beards, honestly, Johnny. I do. I love the playoff beards, but it's mainly because I can grow one.
Yeah, you definitely get the patchy beards and some of the youngsters. You know what I mean? I tell you why you talking about like a playoff beard. I don't think there's been a better playoff beard, despite lack of opportunity in the playoffs, than Giroux's.
Yeah, yeah.
That thing's gotten thick as the forest.
Oh my
Yosemite.
god, he's got a great beard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Priz is all about Hasek, and he brings up a great argument with the 4 awards there.
Yeah, true. Yep, that's a good argument. Great feather in the cap. Now, let's say that we assume that this series goes 7, Brian. Right? If this game continues at this pace now, I believe the Rangers were able to kill off the power play. Still 2-0 Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And this game or this series goes 7, and you have a Colorado team that's been sitting around for a while. What do you do in that locker room? What do you do if you're wearing the Avalanche sweater to stay ready and keep your momentum up with this long, maybe potential hiatus sitting on the sidelines?
I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot you can do right now because, obviously, your game situations are a lot different from, your practices. Yeah, I don't know if there's a whole lot you can do. Oh, that was a huge scoring chance there for Lindgren. Just missed the net on the tip in, but yeah, I don't really know how to answer that question. You just got to keep yourself sharp. You got to keep yourself ready. Rest when you can. Get on the ice as often as you can, and just keep yourself prepared. I mean, as much as this is a physical game, and that's the game right there. Stammer with the slam dunk makes it 3-0. That was a bad rebound.
I'm almost there.
That was a bad rebound. That went right to Stammer.
That's one you could have corralled there.
Yeah, it's one you should have.
Yeah.
You can tell by the way he's looking at the. You can tell by the way he's looking at this scoreboard.
One thing I could say is, I think you can't replicate game action, let alone playoff game action in practice. But here's where you lean on your coaching staff to at least do your best job at doing that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not putting your players in position for injury risk, of course, right? But I think what you really got to do is if you can have tight scrimmaging, right, where non-contact, but yet you still have the pace on the ice, you still get out there. You're not just sitting back and waiting. You know what I mean? That's a key thing. I've seen a lot of teams go cold because of that, right? I think what's key right now is keeping up the energy. Whether you want to do that through like a loose practice or even maybe a practice more based on conditioning. You know what I mean? Keeping up the cardio. I think if you could do that, yeah, maybe the mental aspect of the game you can't replicate. But if you can keep that energy and physical fitness in there, that's something you can control. And you just got to focus on the things that you can control at this point and be thankful that you're in the position that you are, because not a lot of teams get to the Stanley Cup Finals. So
no, they're not.
I think they'll take that deal 8 days a week.
No, I mean, and I agree. It's just they just have to stay mentally prepared and stay in shape. I mean, as long as they stay on the ice, like this team is, I'm not worried about this coaching staff. I'm not worried about this team's mentality. Game one's going to be a feeler game, especially in the first period. So I think they're going to take that first period and really like feel out whoever they're playing. And then come the second period, I think you see Colorado turn it on. But I want to jump to this comment here by Ted real quick, saying that I'm all over the place. Am I really, though? They are a goaltender away. They really are. If they had a goaltender, they would have been in a much better situation against Colorado. Superstars do win in this league. To your other comment, you're right. But this is the farthest Edmonton has been since they've gotten Connor McDavid, and they still have nothing to show for it. How many teams in this league have superstars on their roster that have nothing to show for it? Yet,
Not very many.
not very many. I mean, if Edmonton gets themselves a goalie, they put themselves in a much better situation. And maybe they push Colorado to 6 games. Maybe they push Colorado to 7. Maybe they upset Colorado because of the superstars that they have.
Yeah.
But if you eliminate that first line, a goalie can actually help with that. Because a good goaltender will keep the puck out of the net.
Right.
Mike Smith is not a good goaltender.
Bottom line is you need 4 lines. You need the whole picture. You can have, it is a team sport. You can have all 4 lines rolling, but if you get shoddy play between the pipes, it's not going to matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you want that complete team. So you can, Teddy, I love you, man, but how can you say that? Okay, you want to have 4, so it's important just to have 4 lines and goaltenders not important. I think you still need to have the goaltending, 4 lines, and the pairings. Ultimately, you want to have good special teams. You want to be good, on the power play, on the PK. These are all facets of the game. These are all boxes to be checked, and I think that you can have that goaltender. And if you don't have the 4 lines in front of them, I think we've seen what that's happened to Carter Hart, or at least the 3 D pairings in front of them. You know what I mean? So I think you have to have the whole picture.
And I think Edmonton has 4 lines that can win, clearly.
Right.
I think the defense is solid enough that they can win, clearly. But I think their major weak point is goalie. Their goaltending is an issue.
Right.
You have a 34-year-old guy named Kassian, who I think has only played at the NHL level with Edmonton. I'm probably wrong about that, but I'm just putting that out there just to kind of help my argument.
Ooh, and then real quick, Brian. Hedl will not return tonight with an upper body injury, and this is after Strome already being out for tonight.
Well, that's going to hurt because Hedl's starting to find his game.
Right. Took a little crunch in the boards. He looked okay coming out of the play or what have you, but deeming it upper body, maybe crunched the shoulder or something, and it started to bark.
Maybe. But jumping back to what I was saying is they have a team that's good enough to win.
Right.
But when you have a 40-year-old goaltender and a 33-year-old backup who are below average and continuing to fall, that's a problem.
Sure.
And it's an easy problem to fix. It really is an easy problem to fix. I mean, you just go out and get a goaltender. There's teams looking to sell goaltending right now. I know because my team's one of them because they don't know when they're going to compete in the playoffs again. And Jonathan Gibson deserves a shot at the cup. Again. And then here's Prids again going after Dominik Hasek. Of course. Toronto is 1. I'm assuming a team looking for a goaltender. What's up, Bryce? Bryce in the chat.
Toronto always looking for a goaltender.
Toronto's always looking for. I do think they have one though in Jack Campbell. I like Jack Campbell. He had a great season.
Yeah.
Brian Reeves out there starting trouble as always.
Yeah, man, getting up in there caused a little frog, but he took a little. Cross-check in the back from Sergachev. I'm surprised. Yeah, he did get called there. And then a slash afterwards. Reeves getting underneath the skin, doing his job. Still can't get used to Reeves in a Rangers uniform, though. It still looks odd to me.
Oh, yeah, that was a little bit of a dangerous play on Sergachev's part.
Yeah, it was. Could have got injured there. I mean, I support Reeves, standing up there. That wasn't unfounded.
Mm-hmm.
Could have got seriously hurt there.
Looks like they called
after a similar play that knocked out Hedl too.
So wait, how was the Rangers on the power play? I saw Sergachev go off, but I saw Reeves go off. This is what happens when you're looking down.
Yeah, no, I think it should be 4. Rangers are on the power play.
Oh, so Kevin Perry went. Perry must have been doing his
Maybe. Oh, okay.
his thing.
Initially, I thought maybe they both got 2 for slashing, and he got the extra for the cross check beforehand.
That's what I thought.
No, it was Perry sticking his nose in other people's business,
doing what he does best. But we love Corey. I love Corey Perry. I don't know about you, but I love Corey Perry.
of course.
He's my guy. I want him to finally win one. It's the only upside to Tampa Bay winning for me right now is Corey Perry gets his name on the cup one more time.
Right.
As far as Ryan Ellis goes, John, I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything. I don't think he misses all next year. I do think, though, from what I understand and what I've heard last year, that he could be ready for training camp.
Yeah, I believe I had read a report or whatnot. They were expecting him to be ready for training camp. So I expect him to have a healthy season next year.
Yeah. And then here's Priz kind of helping disprove our point, but in that same breath, kind of proving it in the same breath as well. Mm-hmm. Not all teams need a superstar. I mean, look at how good the Carolina Hurricanes were this year. They don't have a superstar. They have 4 lines of really good players. You don't have a superstar. I mean, the Rangers have.
But
go ahead.
I was just saying, I don't think that's what you were saying, though. What I had heard you were saying is that how many times have you seen a team with an elite superstar not get there? You know what I mean? Like, that's few and far between. Not that there hasn't been teams that have gotten there by being a bunch of blue-collar guys collectively. I mean, especially in all sports that works in hockey.
Yeah, no.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. Because it's true. How many? Let's be real. We see it every year. There's teams with superstars that don't win the Stanley Cup.
Right.
Just not to disprove Ted's point, because he is right. Superstars do win. But I mean, with the way, it's not like the NBA where all the superstar talent's all together. There's superstar talent all over the league. It's not in just 3 cities like it is in the NBA. It's all over the place. Right. So, superstars are going to win, but superstars are also going to lose. And then you're going to get your blue-collar teams like Carolina that just sneak up out of nowhere and just, win hockey games. Like the LA Kings didn't really have superstars when they won. They didn't. They had some really good players. I love Anze Kopitar. I have a lot of respect for the guy. Do I think he's a superstar? I think he's a borderline superstar.
Right.
But I think he's a very quiet superstar, which is why I don't give him that full-blown stardom. That's why he's borderline. But he's very quiet. He's very under the radar. But, yeah. Money is tight in Toronto, Priz. They're going to be in trouble.
Well, I'll tell you this, Brian. I'll tell you who is a big superstar. That's Fanta. It's the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NBA contests, as we're getting into the finals now. That's coming to an end, but you can get baseball coming up, football as well. Getting into that season, draft season coming up. Win great prizes. Sign up today. You use the promo code A2D. You get 5,000 bonus points. It's a $50 value at fanup.app.
Search party.
It's hot, man. What do you want from me?
What's up, boss?
Good to have you, as always. How's everything down in the dirty Jersey?
I don't know. Glad I'm not up there, though.
This is my Harley Davidson shirt, man. This is a nice shirt.
You can have a Harley Davidson shirt and have sleeves on it.
Yeah, right? Maybe you need better arms.
Arms. Yeah.
It's tough when you're at a computer for 16 hours a day.
That's true. Surprised we were almost through 4 games and Maroon and Reeves haven't dropped the gloves yet. They tried to get they tried, and then for some reason Reeves got a penalty for it.
It's coming.
I don't know. I don't know. But this has been, I tell you what, man, like I think this is probably in the most unpredictable playoff tournament in a while.
100%.
I mean, the East was semi-predictable. I mean, I guess if you really believed if you really believed in Tampa, this is really no surprise, and it was predictable. But I really thought Toronto was going to come out of their slump this year and finally get out of the first round, and they almost did. They played a great Game 7, but
Right.
I mean, if you're just joining us, this is our poll question tonight. The New York Rangers are the hungriest team in the NHL playoffs. # agree or disagree. Let us know what you think in the comments. As always, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe. We got podcast formats coming out. So if you missed a show tonight, wherever you get your podcasts, that's where we are. Spreaker, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple, iTunes. Wherever you get your podcasts, where we are. We A2G Radio. We the Hockey Happy Hour. It's been a little bit of a parade to the penalty box here.
It has. It definitely has. Hey, I got a quick call on the fly, Brian. While we're waiting for them to sort out the penalties here or whatnot, do you want to maybe do our OT shootout segments, and that way we can wrap up the show by the end of game time?
Yeah, we can do that now. I mean, we still got a ton of time.
Nice. Yeah. 11:02 left. At least what I have on the ESPN Plus.
And I'm at 10:46.
Sweet. Well, let's get into it
behind.
then. It feels good, actually.
My pain.
Yes. I don't like to hide my reactions. It's good to see it live, or at least live to me. But all right, man. What was your favorite moment of the past week of these playoffs, Brian?
Honestly, seeing Vasilevsky be human and give up 6 goals in Game 1 of this Eastern Conference Finals, that's probably my favorite moment. Because obviously we always think like when guys like Andre Vasilevsky or whoever it is, Marc-Andre Fleury, when they get in that streak, they're like, man, this guy is like superhuman, man. He's a human brick wall or whatever. Seeing guys get exposed every once in a while, it's a good feeling. It's good to see, to realize that these guys are human, and good moment. It's always a good moment to see that. At least to me.
He's not a machine. He's a man. He bleeds.
He's not. Although I kind of wonder how big his pupils are right now. Because I remember it was either last year or the year before when he got a close up and you just see his eyes bugging out of his head. His pupils are huge. What about you?
It's ginormous. I was gonna say, funny enough, same for me. It's definitely a favorite moment of mine. The Rangers coming out and shocking Tampa in Game 1. Not only just winning that game, but winning it 6-2, a beatdown. I mean, Vazzy, yes, but just overall showing that they were here to play. This wasn't going to be a cakewalk for your third straight Stanley Cup final, which is all you want to see. I mean, putting away personal rivalry aside, you know what I mean? You just want to see good series, and you want to see, if you want to defend that championship, well, you're going to have to earn it. And obviously, the Rangers said you're going to have to earn it in this series. I mean, another good moment, too, is obviously the Avs finally getting over that hurdle, that climax of the mountain, that precipice, and getting to the Stanley Cup Finals. That's a pretty good moment if you're out there in Denver.
I mean, even if you're not in Denver and you're pulling for the Avalanche because you made your bracket and your bracket challenge relies on that, it's a great moment as well. But yeah, I mean, we've been seeing Colorado for the last couple of years really just kind of fall short. Falling short to Dallas. What was it, 2 years ago? Falling short to who the hell did they play last year and they lost to? I want to say it was Vegas. It's finally, like you said, it's finally breaking over that hump and getting through to the Stanley Cup Finals. And I got to agree with Benny on this one. Seeing a former friend, a guy who I liked, I thought is a really good blue-collar player.
Yep.
Getting there finally.
Yeah, that was an AB cut that should have never happened.
Agreed. I like Knack.
Yeah.
I like Jerry Mayhew, but I still get to watch him. Chris has a hypothetical question for us before we go on to the other one. What would be the fallout at the Avs roster? What would be the fallout of the Avs roster if Tampa Bay, New York beats the Avs in the finals? MacKinnon already sounded dejected after the past couple of years. I think we do see some changes. I don't think we see anything major. I don't think MacKinnon's going anywhere. Rantanen is not going anywhere. Makar is not going anywhere. I don't think any of the major pieces move, but I think we see Colorado. If it happens, Colorado will be active in the offseason. I think we just see some minor changes to the roster, some tweaks, as it were. So I'm not really sure how to really answer that any more than just that. Because this roster is really good, and you got the core that's still very good together, and they're still playing at a really high level. So I don't think you really want to break that up.
You could see them play more towards the youth, and you've seen that, like, a little utilization. You said it before about Alex Newhook and others in the series supporting like a Cale Makar. I mean, maybe you do see one of MacKinnon or Landeskog be shopped around at the very least. I mean, wasn't there some trade talks with Landeskog coming into this season, if I remember correctly?
I know there was some talk about him with free agency.
Right. Oh, that's what it was. Right.
Because
signing
they were
elsewhere. Right.
Yeah. Because they were worried about I was at least worried about the cap space. I didn't think they were going to be able to, actually bring him back, and I was actually really, really surprised and actually kind of happy that he was.
Right.
It's an interesting question here from John before we move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Where did that go? Cutter Gauthier. I don't really know a lot about the kid. I'm actually looking it up now. He's ranked number 12 by consolidated ranking, and everything I'm reading off of is eliteprospects.com. That's where I get all my rookie and prospect info. Really good website. So if you don't know about it, definitely check that out. Elite Prospects actually ranked him number 12, number 13 by FC Hockey, number 13 by Bob McKenzie of TSN, ranked number 7 by Craig Button of TSN, ranked number 3 by NHL Central Scouting, specifically North American skaters. So that's a lot. That's some good stuff there. They don't really have the scouting report on him like they usually do.
I've heard his shot's legit.
And in 5 games, he's got 8 points. In 10 games, he has 15 points. So he can score. He can create some offense. I'm just trying to look for his age here. So he's probably going to be in this year's draft.
Is Penny commenting on Cutter as JVR 2.0? Is that what that is?
Yeah. Let's hope not. I mean, highest goal total was with the U.S. National Under 18 team, and that was 34 goals and 31 assists for 65 points in 54 games. Nice. Kind of disciplined. Like 49 penalty minutes in 54 games, 31 penalty minutes in 22 games. Boston College, he hasn't played yet, but it looks like that's where he's going to go.
Ooh, Tampa Bay's called back up in shots. It's 27 all. At the 655
the Rangers need to catch up in goals.
Yeah, time is getting short.
He can score. I mean, it looks like he can definitely score. I think taking him at 5 is going to be a stretch, judging by what I'm seeing here. And that's without seeing the scouting report. But if the Flyers, and I'm not saying that they're going to do this, but let's just say the Flyers kind of trade down a little bit, I think Cutter could be a better option. I have a couple other guys in mind, and just give me 1 second here, so I'll make sure I get the right names.
Oh, right on.
NHL.
I was looking at one the other day.
There's 2 guys here, and I just want to make sure I get their names right. Cutter Gauthier is actually okay. So he's actually jumped up to 3, according to NHL's 2022 draft prospects. So Shane Wright, Logan Cooley, obviously are going to be your number 1 and number 2. Connor Geeky, I think, could be a really good. Connor Geeky was one of the guys that I'm looking at as a centerman, 6'4", 190 pounds. You have to put a little bit of weight on, but he could be a good option at 5. And then the other guy looks like he dropped. Oh, look, Jack Hughes is back in the draft. Where did he go? Oh, Matthew Soive. I said both guys I'm looking at are centermen. You don't need any more centermen. But either way, Matthew Soive and Connor Geeky are the 2 guys I'm looking at. I think they're going to be 2 of the better prospects in this draft, and I think they're going to be 2 of the better options for the Flyers. One of those guys I think is going to fall to 5 because your top 5 is Shane Wright, Logan Cooley, Cutter Gauthier, Matthew Soive, and Connor Geeky. So those are your top 5 there. I think any of those 5, should they fall, you can't go wrong with any of them. Like I said, I don't really know a whole lot about Cutter Gauthier. They do need a scoring left winger, though, and it looks like that's what that kid's going to be.
Right. This is the good name I was looking at from the Hockey Writers mock draft. I want to say it's Simon, but it might be Simone Nemec from Slovakia. Actually, a right defenseman. Big bodied, though. I mean, only 6'1", brings some weight there. Brings an all-around game in the blue line. Basically, real good puck mover, or mover of the puck. You know what I mean? Talk about shoring up the Flyers, you know, in terms of how many times turning it over at the blue line, poor outlet passes. I kind of like that idea, you know, especially as you're starting to try to rebuild this defense and center this team around Carter Hart, that maybe you go forward in the next draft and you go D-man there at 5. Any thoughts?
I mean, I don't know a whole lot about him. I don't think drafting defensemen is ever a bad idea. I do think they need some scoring, though.
Yeah.
That's my biggest weakness for this team right now. I think they have enough options at defense right now under contract. And then the kid they got from Finland last year, I think could be really good for the Flyers. They got him, I think, in the second round or something like that. But, I mean, the draft, I mean, I don't know a whole ton about some of these guys yet. I'm going to do more homework as the draft gets closer and we do our draft show. But, I mean, Cutter could be an option. Simone could be an option.
I just want another Simone.
I want to say Sokovsky is going to be there, but I don't. He's not going to be there at 5. I forgot about that guy.
Yeah, I saw him going at 3 in that Hockey Writers draft.
I mean, I would love it. He's going to be a stud. You want to talk about a guy who can create offense. You want to talk about a guy who can shoot the puck. This kid's going to be something special. I think he's going to be better than what's his name in Ottawa. What the hell's his name? Why am I blanking on his name?
Brady Tkachuk?
No, the other one.
Matt Duchene?
No. Matt Duchene's in Nashville.
Oh, that's right.
The German kid.
Oh, Stutzel. Tim Stutzel.
Yeah. I think he's going to be better than Stutzel.
I'm thinking of like you know, not that he's not a current NHLer, but you know what I mean. Like I was thinking a more established guy, not. But you're talking about like a fellow youth, the two youths.
Utes. I'm sorry. Did you say Utes?
Two youths.
I love that movie. Does Owen Power stop being a baby and play for the Sabres instead? You're gonna hate on the kid for going to college? And by the way, he did sign his ELC. You're gonna hate on the kid for going to college to play a little bit of hockey to help him develop? Come on,
Right?
Stop it. Come on, Ted. You're better than that. But he did sign his ELC, and I think he did play towards the end of the season. I believe. I'm gonna look that up real quick. Not 100% sure, but I'm like 90% sure Owen Power signed and did play last year. That's funny. That popped right up.
Pardon, a little coughing spell there.
No, you're good. Owen Power played 8 games for the Sabres last year. 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points. So
Yeah,
to answer your question, yes. To answer your question, yes.
Ted's on fire tonight. He's ornery. I love it. I love ornery.
I do too. He's even coming after me. I love it.
Yep,
He went to college because he didn't want to play.
Is it Stutzel? Stetzel? I've heard both pronounced Stutzel.
I think it's Stutzel.
Stencil?
Stencils.
Stencil back
yes. I used to have a bunch of this. I think I still have some somewhere around my dad's house up there in the dirty Jers. I don't think he went to college because he didn't want to play for the Sabres. I think he went to college because he had already committed to Michigan and wanted to finish the season out. I think that's why.
Honor your word, you know, but I mean, maybe you need to make plans if you're going to have a career with the Sabres. You got to think about life after hockey too, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, what's wrong with the kid going to college? Is that really a bad thing? Plus, it's less development that he has to take in the AHL.
Right.
You know, a lot of people compare the college level to the AHL because a lot of college players are going to be never was in anything outside of college. Same thing with the AHL. AHL is a lot of players that are either washed up that couldn't hack it in the NHL, or it's a lot of draft prospects. And in college, you're going to play with and against a lot of draft prospects. So it's a lot of people see college as a developmental league on top of getting a degree, which I hope he did get a degree because that builds up for a future after hockey, like Rob was saying. And it helps to develop the talent. That's what JVR did. JVR never played in the AHL. He played for New Hampshire.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, that's tough, Ted. That's a tough question to answer. I mean, if you do it right and you get paid millions of dollars and you invest right, you don't have to worry about a future after hockey. But again, I mean, he's not going to get those. He's not getting those millions of dollars yet. He's only getting $925K. That's the max that he can get. And he can only get a 3-year contract. That's it. That's the max.
Did Tampa just take a dumb penalty of holding in the offensive zone by Killorn?
It looked like he tripped him.
Saw the referee go with this.
Maybe. I caught the tail end of the
Yeah, he grabbed his jersey and pulled him down in the offensive zone. You're up 3-0. What are you doing?
Johnny,
you're just allowing the Rangers to get back in this game right now. Not that I'm rooting against the Rangers. I'm trying to be partial down the middle. But fuck that.
I mean, Ted, it is. It's considered a developmental league. Most guys that are playing in college hockey are all NHL draft prospects for the most part, or they're just guys that are there on a scholarship so they can get through school. I mean, there's a lot of guys that play in college that go straight to the NHL. It's what Cam York did. I mean, Cam York had a little bit of AHL time, but a lot of that had to do with recovering from an injury too, as well.
True.
He played Michigan and then he came straight to the Flyers. But it doesn't matter now because Owen Power signed the ELC. He signed his contract. He's played 8 games with the Sabres, so it doesn't really matter anymore. It's not like he's going back to college, or he may wind up in the AHL, but I don't think he does.
Rangers pulling the goaltender on the power play.
Oh, they got one.
6-on-4.
And they got one.
I have to figure 6-on-4, right? Strong power play.
It was quick, too. It wasn't long.
Shot from the point, rebound out in front. Yeah, that's a gimme. Glove eye. Panarin. Yeah, that's the guy. That's what I was saying before Fabulous comment, Johnny.
Johnny's on the ball tonight, man. This is why we
gotta go get some college tail before you get shipped out to Buffalo. I
gotta agree with this one though too. Michigan is one of the best hockey programs in the nation.
Actually, I gotta disagree with both of these gentlemen because we were trying to get off A2D New York off the ground, right? So I had a lot of interaction with the Bills Mafia, and dude, check out specifically Jenny on Twitter. Let me get the specifics on that. But
we're gonna go to the Bills Mafia. They're just
there's some hot mamas in the Bills Mafia. I'm talking nice, and they like to show off that body on Twitter.
I remember seeing that video that we posted on HUD of the 2 people having sex in the parking lot, just wide open. That's the type of friend I need. While you're looking that up, Priz said he finished in his college playing career with his friends / teammates and is still debuted in the NHL. He got his cake and ate it too. So you can't hate on that. You can't hate on that.
Good for him.
Good for him. Ted says, no, I'm saying it's a hard choice to pick between playing in the NHL over being a college student. I'd rather be an NHL player, but he didn't go first overall for a reason. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Ted, but sometimes they would rather go play college hockey for a year than go straight to the NHL. Either way you're looking at it, he's not going to get that big payday for another 3 years. He did go first overall for a reason, but how many times have we seen guys go top 5 that don't pan out?
Truth.
You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily a bad thing that he went to go play college for a year, especially with a team that wasn't making the playoffs.
Right.
And probably isn't going to make the playoffs for another year or two. Ted's also saying there's a report out that Flyers plan A is Johnny G, plan B is Philip Forsberg. I should flip that. I would flip that in a heartbeat. I would rather have Philip Forsberg than Johnny Gaudreau.
Yeah, follow it. There you go. This is at J Goodies 22.
She's not. She wasn't born and raised in Buffalo. She moved to Buffalo. She moved to Buffalo. She was not born and raised there. I guarantee you that. She was not born and raised in Buffalo. She relocated. She was forced to relocate to Buffalo.
She's a good follow, though. She's a good follow.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
But as far as this report goes, I would flip that. I'd rather have Forsberg over Johnny Gaudreau. I like Johnny. I think he's a good talent. And the one plus side to Johnny is he's younger than Forsberg. But Philip Forsberg knows how to play hockey. He's still got the speed. He's still got the creativity. He's still got, the ability to score goals. But I think both of these guys wind up being white noise in an organization that is full of guys who already passed the puck.
Right.
And besides, I don't think Johnny leaves Calgary. I think Calgary is going to re-sign him. Despite what some of these reports are saying, Johnny, I'm sure, is very happy playing on a team like Calgary that's a playoff team versus a team that's rebuilding. He's already been through the rebuild with Calgary. Why would he want to sign with another team that's rebuilding? Besides, I hear that Calgary's going to heavily pursue him and obviously Matthew Tkachuk. He's saying you need to look up Jordan Grace.
Jordan Grace. Oh, yeah. The wrestler. Prince didn't want you to forget.
No, wait, are you telling me,
looks.
Priz, or are you telling Pove?
I think it's talking to you. I mean, I could. I will. Hold on. Get that comment back. Wait. I got it. All right.
There
Yeah,
you
I'm
go.
just coming off like a perv on this show. I gotta calm down. It's the shirt. It's the sleeveless shirt, I guess.
Yeah, it is. Is Forsberg? I think
I'm all
Forsberg
alpha
should be
male.
yeah, right. I think he should be the plan A regardless of getting Barry or not. And I really highly doubt that Barry Trotz comes here. Because one, there's multiple reasons why I would bring in a Philip Forsberg. The ability to score, his ability to create offense, his leadership, his I mean there is that relationship though between Barry Trotz and Philip Forsberg because Philip Forsberg came up through Nashville after that trade. I forget who he was traded for. Prish just sent me the link. I
Get
forget who he
busy
was traded
living or
for,
get
but
busy dying.
yeah, right. I mean, I think this team needs some leadership. I don't think you get it from Johnny.
Ooh.
Okay, hang on.
I like sprinkles.
Hang on. Now I gotta look.
Yeah, this one. I think this one's a little too NSFW for the show, but Tommy likey. Tommy won't wingy.
Hang on.
Holy Mother of God.
My God. Looks like I want to have some cake and eat it too myself.
That's the nail in the coffin there. Tampa Bay up 4-1 as time expires here. Series tied 2-2. We got a best of 3, as we thought it would be. Home teams holding serve.
Doing her best varsity blues imitation there, but I don't know, dude.
Good call. Good call.
I don't know. I don't think she's the best looking. I think there's better in the WWE. I'm just saying. She's got a nice face, but
the best is Anna Jay. Fight me.
I listen. I love the idea of Philip Forsberg. I really do. I think he's a great talent. He's a great leader to bring into the locker room. He's a great locker room team guy. Like I said, he can score, he can create offense, and he's still got speed. He's a good transition player. Johnny should stay with the Flames. I think he should. I don't think he should come to Philly as much as the fan base wants him here. I think it's a much better situation if he stays in Calgary than if he comes here. I think he becomes white noise. The Flyers need a guy who can score. Philip can score. I'm not saying Johnny can't. Johnny's only a 20-goal guy. Philip Forsberg is a guy who can get you 30, possibly 40, depending on who he's playing with. The Flyers just don't need another guy who's going to sit there and get you 60 assists a year. It's nice. Johnny's a great player, but he's white noise to me. Just to me.
Right. I hear you. I pick up what you're putting down.
Tom, we're with you. We love seeing the Rangers take an L.
Always a good day, right?
Yeah. Always a good day. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry, Betty. It's a retool. Was it Martin Erat? I didn't remember if it was Martin Erat or not. I should have just looked it up. I'm going to take your word for it, Benny. You're usually never wrong. So what's wrong with that? Uh-oh. Chris sent another one.
Good guy, gracious God, Chris.
She's not in the WWE. I know she's not in the WWE. I'm just saying there's better looking in the WWE.
But yeah. That's fake mass produced, you know what I mean? This is like hometown girl right here.
My God.
Mother of God.
Yeah, I was just thinking it's like, did he say that in Super Troopers or was it something else? No, it was definitely Mother of God. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it. Ted, I don't know. Oh, wait, are we talking specifically about Nia Jax? I feel bad because, she could still completely just absolutely obliterate me. Give me Liv Morgan all day. Jersey represent. Brother BKL Contreras saying Lightning pick up a win, tie the series. This game must be game 7.
People coming out.
I'm about it. Because we saw the Lightning at home and the Rangers are the same at home. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts? This is a 7-game series for sure. It's going to come down to, and I say this all the time, and I do realize that the Rangers don't have to win one on the road, but at the same breath, they have to win one on the road. I think this is going to be a great series. We're seeing it now. It's going to be very back and forth. But it's going to come down to who wins one on the road. If the Rangers obviously win one on the road, it's going 6. I think if the Lightning wind up stealing one from Madison Square Garden, which I think they will in the next game here, I think the Lightning win it in 7.
You're changing the Lightning. Interesting.
I'm not changing to the Lightning. I still think the Rangers win the series, but if the Lightning pick a win up on the road, I think.
Right? No, I get that. Obviously, yeah. I mean, we got 2 in New York, 1 in Tampa Bay left remaining. I think in the end, they could continue the momentum that they built here in Tampa and make it happen and utilize that playoff experience that this team has amassed, right? But you got to expect. I mean, a lot of this is contingent on the health of Hedl. If Strome makes it back in the lineup as well, assuming that they have those 2 guys at their disposal, you're going to expect some blowback from the Rangers, especially after Tampa coming at them physically in this game. And I can expect a jacked up game where they can flip that momentum. But in the end, at some point, whether it's going to be game 5 or make it to game 7, right, at MSG, I got to side with the Lightning. And as much as I've been against them in terms of the amount of time that they've played on the ice over the past 3 seasons has eventually got to catch up to them. We haven't seen it. And it's because of the depth, and they've just been able to rotate and have guys step up with minutes in one game, take a backseat here. They can overcome injury, having a guy in and out when Point was in and out of the lineup. I think veteran people that they've been there the past 2 years, it's going to win out, and it's going to win out ultimately in game 7. And I think it's going to be Colorado, Tampa Bay in the Stanley Cup final. I think it's something that we expected to see to a degree, but it's still a great way to get there.
Yeah, I think the one thing that we're failing to, as I'm watching some of these highlights here, the Tampa Bay Lightning's offensemen are starting to get a little bit lost as far as coverage, which is a good thing for Tampa Bay. Because if you look at the Stamkos goal, he managed to slip away unnoticed from his defenders. So that's going to allow a little bit more of a dangerous opportunity. With the Kucherov goal, it looked like that, that was just a pure transition. They just allowed him enough space to pick up some speed and get between the two. If they can tighten up a little bit on defense, I think that this could be, I think regardless, this is going to be a long series, but if they can tighten up on defense, I think they can take game 4 and get the momentum back on their side going back to Tampa. I think they just got a little too loosey-goosey tonight specifically. I thought the other night that or the other afternoon, they played better defensively, but I think tonight they got a little loosey-goosey and allowed some bad plays, some plays to really just that shouldn't have happened happen, especially like I said, specifically the Stammer goal and specifically the Kucherov goal.
Sure.
Priz is jumping out here. We love you, brother, as well.
Yeah, we're about to check out here as well, Priz. No worries. We're going to wrap up our shootout. And Say buenos noches to you all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat as you, BKL. It's just my heart says Lightning. My heart says Lightning in 6, but my brain's telling me Rangers in 7, and it's got to be, because we saw this with Carolina. A team that couldn't win on the road. If you can't win on the road, odds are you're not going to win a series, even if you have home ice. And we saw that because they went the entire first 2 rounds without winning a road game.
Right.
And the Rangers won a road game, and it legitimately cost them the series. So I get that the Rangers have home ice and they don't have to win on the road, but it always helps for your not just the momentum, but just it just helps the series. It makes it a little bit easier getting at least 1 win on the road.
Sure.
Real quick, let's run through these comments here real quick, and then we'll finish up.
Do your thing, man.
OT, and then we'll get out of here. Ted saying, not sure if you guys covered it, but how is that play not illegal? Evander Kane pushing a guy head first into the boards should be more than a penalty. It was more than a penalty. He was suspended 1 game for it. I think he should have gotten more, because he is a repeat offender, and that was a malicious hit. But he did get more. He did get more than a 5-minute penalty. And he is suspended, and we don't really have to worry about him anymore for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, immediately when I saw it, I was like, "That's a suspension. That's suspension worthy."
Oh yeah, I think we. Well, maybe not because Reeves wasn't hurt, but.
Hey Benny, I've been there before, man. Working so many hours, dude, pass out right on the bowl. It's happened.
That's never happened to me. I've fallen asleep on the bowl because I was half asleep because in the middle of the night, my stomach is saying, hey, I'm not happy with you right now.
Absolutely. Benny representing the membership as I noticed as well.
Yeah.
Shout out there for our members only. If you want to be a part.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, for anyone that's just joining us, if you want to become an A2D member for $9.99 a month, you can get some amazing perks, including shout-outs, members-only shows, appearances, and weekly picks from the Money Pot Podcast. Join today. The link's right down there in the comments.
Yes, sir. Just in case you're like me, you can hear it, you can register it, but you got to read it, and then you really register it. No, I get it. I get what you're saying here, Ted. Carolina is not Tampa. But Carolina was one of the best defensive teams all season long. Freddie Anderson had a great season.
Shame he got hurt.
Yeah, and that didn't help their case either. But they were a team that all season long they won at home. All season long they won. They were like unstoppable at home. But it kind of is what it is. BKL, man, hit that like, hit that subscribe, brother. We'd love to see you in the chat a little bit more often. We'll definitely see you next game.
We appreciate you.
Absolutely. But no, Ted, you're right. Carolina is not Tampa. All right, let's wrap this up. Let's get the hell out of here.
Right on. Well, we've kind of covered it a little bit, but we'll put it in stone now. Who's the best player in the playoffs to you, Brian?
Left in the playoffs or
this playoffs? It could be a guy. You could say freaking Crosby if you wanted to.
Okay, so it doesn't matter who it is. It's got to be Connor McDavid. I mean, 29 points.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be Connor McDavid.
There could be an argument made for Cale Makar, as I said earlier. 22 points as a defenseman, 5 of them being goals, 17 assists, plus 11. 51 shots in these playoffs, 1 power play goal, 8 power play points, that game-winning OT goal that I referenced before. I think if the Avs win it all, he and Nate MacKinnon will be neck and neck for Conn Smythe. But Makar has been all over the ice, just absolutely playing that complete 200-foot game. That's what's been just impressed me more. Of course, the best player on earth is McJesus. You're right. I'm wrong. But I really enjoyed Cale Makar.
Oh no, you're not wrong for your opinion because Cale Makar is a fabulous answer. You know who else is another answer? and you actually kind of sprung this into my head, Adam Fox. Adam Fox is a big part of the reason why the Rangers
Truth.
have had success thus far in the
Truth.
playoffs.
Truth.
I mean, he's got what?
Very.
7 goals so far? Hang on, I'm going to look that up real quick.
Yeah, man.
He's Owen Power up
Absolutely.
on my screen right now.
While you're looking that up, our shootout sponsor is our doc. Make him yours, Dr. Paul Vidal at Specialized Physical Therapy LLC.
Oops,
Now
wrong one.
with 2 locations in Burlington and Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can find him online, specializedphysicaltherapy.com.
All right, so give me 1 second. I'm scrolling down the roster as you speak.
We're playing a man down. We're like playing with 5 defensemen right now. Got
Are
2
you
hands.
kidding? I feel like we're playing with freaking 6 fucking forwards. Where the hell is he? There he is.
Truth be told.
All right, so Adam Fox in these playoffs, 2021, he's got 11 goals. That's not right. There we go. 5 goals for 18 assists for 23 points. So
Yeah, right. Teddy.
and he's been huge as far as the points go, or not the points go, as you know, his timely goals as well. Ted says Andrei Vasilevsky. It's a great answer. They're not as good without him. And Brian Elliott might finally get a cup. Good for him. I just forgot about that he was in Tampa. I just realized that.
Lose.
Ted, can't agree with you more, bro. He is the good doctor, Dr. Paul Vidal. And I've been there. They do a great job over there. So definitely go check them out if you're having any kind of issues. Or, you know, you have a kid getting ready to play baseball, or, you know, we're going to be in football season sooner than you think. Get the kid ready. Get him ready. Head on over to Specialized Physical Therapy over in Cherry Hill or Burlington County. But yeah, Adam Fox is a great answer. Kel McCarr is a great answer. Andrei Vasilevsky is a great answer. Connor McDavid, great answer.
They've done a lot of good stories, man.
Yeah, BKL saying the proud of the playoffs are Carolina, but the biggest disappointment are the Edmonton Oilers. They need a goaltender when we want. We've been saying that for a while, my friend. We've been saying that for a while, that they need a goaltender, and then they could be. I'm not going to sit there and say they're going to be a legit contender, because they still do need a couple other things, but they are a goaltender away from being a contender. All right, what else we got?
Let's wrap it up. What's your hot take of the week, bro? Put you on the spot.
There's not much left.
Right?
There's really not much left. All right, you know what? I'm going to go off-season move here. I think the Flyers hire a head coach this week.
Ooh, there you go. From the depths, he pulls out a great one.
And unfortunately, I think it's going to be John Tortorella.
Oh, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Sorry.
Oh, God.
Sorry. Wow, the Phillies are 4-0 under Rob Thompson. Let's go. Get nervous up there, Robbie. We coming for you. Get nervous.
I am getting a little nervous. I'm hearing reports that Pete Alonso and Starling Marte left tonight's game with injuries.
Oh, that's not good.
I hate baseball. So many.
That's a lie. You love it.
I know. I love it.
I love it too. But you know what? It angers me at times. No, I mean, I don't know about Robbie, but I won't be mad.
What's that?
If the Flyers don't get torched instead of not rebuild.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be mad at that. I don't think that's the direction that they should be going right now. You know, I think you definitely got to work on building this team chemistry, building an identity. You know, and I mean, can a guy like Trotz come in and give you a sound defensive system and an identity? Sure. You know what I mean? And maybe you turn it around quicker than, add a couple pieces through the draft and then let it fly. But that's talk about another Band-Aid like the Edmonton Oilers. That's what that's going to be. They got to have these guys build this team, draft more players, and have them play together consistently and just build that chemistry that we've seen with the Flyers, in decades past, and rediscover what it means to wear this on your sweater. You know what I mean? Bottom line.
No, and I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. This Flyers organization, they need to get back to figuring out what they are, who they are, and getting some pride and culture back into that locker room.
Right.
Even through the off and on, as far as the playoffs go, off and on, alternating just about every other season, getting in and out, they had a culture in that locker room. They had an identity. They had pride behind wearing that sweater. It's just within the last couple of years, you've just seen that change. I think once they find that, and that's also going to depend on the coach as well, is once they find that, I think they're going to be okay.
Yeah, I'd be really happy with Claude Julien. I don't want Bruce Cassidy. I'd rather another Bruins former head coach than Claude Julien.
You know me. I'm about Claude Julien as well.
I need a Claude in Philly. We lost one. We need one back. I'm just saying this because there's been no steam behind. I don't think Tocchet's interested at all in terms of getting back to coach. Like, I think he's enjoying the gig with TNT. You know what I mean? So I gotta, just like the Flyers, you gotta divert to other options.
I mean, I'm the same way. I love that broadcasting. Although I think Paul Bissonnette is a little over the top at times, but that's just this is biz being biz.
Yeah, that's why he was hired.
But he makes it more entertaining. He makes it more entertaining for sure.
Sure.
I have a love-hate relationship with Biz. Like, I love him, but I hate him at the same time. But as far as Bruce Cassidy goes, I would take him to Anaheim, but the Ducks are sticking with Dallas Eakins. I'm okay with that. They played pretty well for the most part last year. The team is positive in what they did this year, and they're positive going into next season as well. So I think we see Dallas Eakins behind the bench for at least another 2 years in Anaheim. But as far as the Flyers go, I've been saying this for weeks, Ted. I want Paul Maurice there.
Be another good option too. I'd be fine with that too. Joffrey Lupul, my man.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking about, man. That's exactly what I'm talking about. There used to be meaning behind the logo, behind wearing the sweater. You heard Cam Atkinson say it this year. I felt like I was born to wear this jersey. We need more guys with that mindset on this roster. And we need guys with that mindset behind the bench. We need guys with that mindset running this organization.
Sure.
It's all about building a winning culture. Building a winning culture is going to win you hockey games.
Right.
And it's going to get you back where you want to be. The picture is still big. I'm sorry. The big picture is still there. I really don't think this team is too far off. I think they're like 2 years out from being a contender again. Or a playoff contender. I don't think they're going to be a cup contender for another 3 to 4. But I think they're a playoff contender in 2 years if they do this right and they get the right guy behind the bench and not fire him after 2 or 3 years. I get it's the average, but that's also how you hurt development. But all right, let's wrap this up.
Absolutely. Mine, quick and simple. The Edmonton Oilers will miss next year's playoffs.
I love it.
Peace.
I love it.
He's Brian Daly. You can find him on Twitter at BryGuy_85, right? If I'm remembering that off the top of my head.
I think
Often find him more on the gram and on Facebook. You can find me wherever, whenever I'm not buried in a computer at Rob_Povia. Been a great show. Matt Tsutsuti will be back next week where hopefully, we'll be talking about whether it'll be the Rangers and the Avalanche or will it be Tampa Bay going for a three-peat against the Avalanche. We shall see. So catch us next week. Same bat time, maybe the same bat channel, maybe a little bit earlier. Maybe we come on at 8 o'clock. to be determined. We'll see how everybody's schedule is going. Anyway, people, thanks for all the comments tonight. We love you in the chat. Best of luck with Don. Get healthy, get well. All the more reason. Stay protected out there. Stay safe, people. We'll catch you next week.
Peace out, Joe.